Hello and welcome back to another Jurassic World review. So today I am looking at something very special, and that is the brand new Indoraptor, which, if I wasn't left alone to look at pictures on my phone, I wouldn't actually have this with me, because I don't know if you saw the video I did, but when I found this, but basically I saw that they had the Giga, like the Dominion Giga. So I saw that. I saw like the Diabloceratops, the Eukarchia, or whatever it's called, all the other things. But then I looked at the picture, and I'll probably put the picture up on screen now. You can see right there that you can see Indoraptor's teeth, and I know Indoraptor's teeth anywhere. I just phoned my mom because I was left alone. I was like, "Ma, I'm such an idiot. I left Indoraptor there." So I went and looked at Indoraptor, and of course I ended up getting him. So anyway, after the long story, let's look at the box. Obviously, you know, so Liopleurodon was like an ocean thing. This is, I guess, the jungle. Indoraptor is in a jungle. You see, we have lights and sounds. Whew, track and attack Indoraptor. Now, one thing that I do want to say is that this is not like the other Indoraptors. So this is not like the superposable. This one shares elements of the grab and growl, which I do have, and I will, you know, put a comparison later in the video. But yeah. So of course you have, you know, CGI renders and stuff like that. You have the other two things in the wave, which that bottom one, honestly, I played with them in store. That thing is super cool. The stego is disgusting. But yeah, that is it for the packaging of Indoraptor. And let's get straight into this. So now, with the box out of the way, it is time to talk about the actual figure. And my god, is he amazing. So let's get in close to look at that head sculpt. If you cannot tell, this is a refined version of the original Indoraptor head sculpt. Now, before I get into the comparisons, I'm just gonna say that I do not have the superposable Indoraptor. That's the only version I don't have, mainly because it never came here. So yeah, you can see here the teeth they look a lot sharper than the original versions. Now, I have seen people complain that the teeth, like, they just look like implanted teeth. It does look weird, but if I'm being totally honest with you, it doesn't bother me that much. So you can see he does still have this red around the eye. Sorry for my fingernails, cut them. You can see the quills behind the head. They are made of that soft bendy plastic, you know. So obviously the iconic gold stripe of the Indoraptor. You can see the arms here look menacing as hell. Beautiful sculpt. Anyway, you know, the tail I think is a decent size. One thing that I immediately noticed about this version of Indoraptor is the color. You may not be able to see it, you know, over on the camera, although you will when I bring in the other versions. This one isn't as black as the others. This has kind of like a greenish blue hue over it. It looks really weird. If I bring in, I know it's not a Transformers review, but here, it's a dinosaur transformer. If I bring in Ancient Leader over here, if you look, it's kind of like this color. That's kind of, it's difficult to explain because it's not a dry brush. It's just the color of the figure. It's like a weird hue over it. So I don't really understand that. But anyway, so with that out of the way, let us get to some comparisons. Here he is with a hybrid counterpart. Here he is with the Scorpius Rex. So you can see he's fairly sizable actually, you know. I think maybe if I zoom out, I could probably put the two side by side. So there's that. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm honestly just gonna keep the comparison section like this. Scorpius Rex does look grayer than it should be, because he's pretty dusty. So yeah, I mean, you can see he is much taller than Scorpius Rex. So there is that. Here he is with Indominus Rex. So you can see, I really love that. I think that is so beautiful, honestly. And if you showed me like 4 years ago that I, would have an Indominus Rex and an Indoraptor, I would have called you crazy, because that is... Here he is with a T-Rex. I don't know what T-Rex this is. Stomping something, probably. Yeah, there's that. So, there's Indoraptor with a T-Rex. Here he is with Dominion's dinosaur, the Therizinosaurus. So, you can see how that works out there. Right. Here he is with my boy, Spinosaurus. You can see how that looks there. Beautiful. Now, here he is with what actually was my very first Indoraptor, and that is the basic one. The basic Indoraptor was the first one I ever got. So, yeah, I mean, maybe I could review this guy. Who knows? Really, what's stopping me? What's stopping me from reviewing it? Alright, so you can see he is obviously much bigger than this, mainly because of the pose. So there's that. But really, this is the comparison that you've been waiting for. Here he is with the Grab and Growl Indoraptor, which for the longest time was the kind of definitive version, I guess. And yeah, I think now you can see what I was talking about with the difference to the color, because look at how black this version is. Look at that glossy black, and then that version looks very blue. I'm not really sure why they did that, but yeah, there's that. But if I'm just just doing a quick comparison here, look at the teeth of this version. Alright, it looks like the teeth of the T-Rex on the Jurassic World line. Alright, whereas if you look at the teeth here, you can see they look a lot sharper. So that is pretty cool. Also, one thing that version gets over this is that one's actually able to stand. Obviously, yes, over the years, of course, I did break off his hand. This version, it cannot stand. It literally cannot stand. Even on two legs, like if you just straighten this out, it can't stand. It cannot. Oh my god. What? I've had this for like what, 5 years now? I've never gotten it to stand. Holy shit, that is insane. What the hell? Oh, wow, alright, well, fair play. I mean, when you fully extend him like that, he is kind of face to face with the new version. Right, so moving on to accessories, he does come with one, and that is this kind of gear thing that you put over it. So basically how you do this, you just take this, wrap it around, okay, and then you don't have to clip it in, but I just do it because I feel the need to. Right, that's not even in frame, there we go. Alright, so there you have Indoraptor with his little control thing. I don't know what you call it. Right, I mean, that looks pretty cool. The detail is definitely there. And now let's get to the exciting part, and that is the action features. So there is a button on the top here, and you press it and that happens. Right, now when I was playing with him in the packaging, I noticed his arms were very loose and I didn't understand why. Now I do. So if you pull the arm up, that happens. And that to me is the most badass action feature. That is so cool. That is amazing. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, the light up feature I think is definitely better on this version. The action features overall are just better on this version because the arms are more proportional to the body, which I love, because on the other version the arms were so long and skinny, it looked ridiculous. This is probably, you know, if you literally just change the color to that glossy black, you would literally have a perfect Indoraptor. I kid you not. This is absolutely fantastic. Now, articulation wise, the head is basically nothing, right? Because the jaw is part of the action feature. This thing, the next part of the action feature, arms part of the action feature. The legs, right? You can do that. Yeah, you can get him reaching for the stars if you want to. I don't know if they can do a full 360. Well, they could if the arms weren't in the way. So yeah, right. And for the first time, we actually have a posable tail. Well, not the first time, but it's rare for Mattel figures these days. You actually have a posable tail, because usually the tail is the action feature, you know. So you can rotate this all ways that you want. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, if you care, right, there is the little scanner code for the Jurassic World Facts app. I kid you not, in 2018 and 2019, I was obsessed with that. Whenever a new figure was announced, first thing I would go and do is try and get the code. I would lose my mind over it. But since then, I did uninstall the app, and there were just way too many figures for me to, you know, to do. So, I mean, yeah, that is basically it. So there you have my review of the Jurassic World Mattel Dino Trackers Indoraptor. I don't know what the actual title is. I don't care anymore. So there is that. Honestly, it is the best Indoraptor in my opinion. I think that looks wise, it is the best, you know, apart from the color. I absolutely love the sculpt work. I think the teeth look so much better than the other versions. The action features I think are so awesome. I'm really happy with the little thing that goes over its head. I'm glad that they've started including more of those in the Dino Trackers line. So yeah, there is that. So if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment, obviously. And goodbye.